Welcome to our Digital Opportunities webinar series. I'm Ann Byers, the Digital Equity Manager for the state of Nebraska. I'm with the Nebraska Information Technology Commission and Office of the CIO. We've been meeting on most Wednesdays at 11 a.m. since January. We will be taking a brief break after this webinar while we organize in-person listening sessions, and then we'll be starting up again. The webinars provide an opportunity for us to learn together and to support state and regional digital equity planning efforts. Today's webinar will focus on the Affordable Connectivity Program. We have some great speakers today talking about the Affordable Connectivity Program and efforts to increase awareness of the program and enrollment. Our speakers today include Anthony Butler from the FCC, Jenny Miller from Education Superhighway, Aaron Beanel from the South Central Economic Development District, and then we'll also get an update from the Southeast Nebraska Economic Development District on their recent FCC outreach grant. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to, I've got a few more items, and then I'll be handing it over to Anthony, a few more housekeeping items. Please type your name in the chat. This will help us track attendance. If you would like to receive information on the webinars, please also put your email in the chat or email me. And please remember to mute your microphone if you are not speaking. The Nebraska State Digital Equity Planning Initiative is part of the Connect Nebraska Broadband Initiative. The planning grant is being led by the NITC Office of the CIO in partnership with the Nebraska Regional Officials Council and the Nebraska Library Commission. And this initiative was funded by a digital equity planning grant from the NTIA. Recordings, slides, and links to resources are posted at broadband.nebraska.gov and nitc.nebraska.gov. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and hand it over to Anthony.
Thanks. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Butler. I'm a consumer education and outreach specialist in the Consumer Affairs and Outreach Division at the Federal Communications Commission. I want to thank you for allowing me the time to speak to you today about the Affordable Connectivity Program. The Affordable Connectivity Program, or ACP as it's widely referred to, is an FCC program created to help low-income households pay for internet service and connected devices like a laptop or tablet. The ACP was funded via the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which was signed into law in 2021. The act allotted for $14 billion for the program. In just a little under 2 years since the program was started, more than 14 million households have been enrolled, linking millions of Americans to the digital marketplace. For those households, the Affordable Connectivity Program can open up a world of opportunity. They can work from home, take advantage of telehealth and remote schooling, and stay connected with friends and family. The Commission is committed to bringing those benefits to the millions more American households who have not yet signed up. The program will continue to be funded until the money runs out or Congress allocates additional funding for the program. In my presentation today, I will talk about the Affordable Connectivity Program's benefits, who is eligible, how to enroll, and finally, I will discuss some of the consumer safeguards written into the Act. As I stated earlier, the Affordable Connectivity Program, or ACP, is a Federal Communications Commission program that provides a discount on monthly broadband bills for qualifying low-income households. Eligible households can receive up to $30 a month discount for broadband services and associated equipment rentals, such as a modem or Wi-Fi router. Up to $75 a month discount for households on tribal lands, and at one-time discounts for $100 for a laptop, desktop, or tablet purchased through a participating provider. Participating consumers pay a $10 to $50 copay. As a household is defined as a group of people living together and share money, even if they are not related to each other. If you live together and share money, you are one household. If you either don't live together and you don't share money, you are two or more households. You may have to answer questions about your household when you apply for the Affordable Connectivity Program. A household is eligible if a member of the household is at or below 200% of the federal poverty guidelines, or a member of the household meets at least one of the following criteria: participates in certain assistance programs such as SNAP, Medicaid, Federal Public Housing Assistance, SSI, WIC, or Lifeline. Participates in tribal-specific programs such as Bureau of Indian Affairs General Assistance, Tribal TANF, which stands for Temporary Assistance for Needy Families, or food distribution programs on Indian reservations. Participates in the free and reduced price school lunch program or the school breakfast program, including the USDA Community Eligibility Provision Schools. If a member of the household received the Pell Grant in the current award year, somebody receives veterans or survivor pension benefits, or if anyone meets the eligibility criteria for a participating provider's existing low-income program. If you are participating in the program under any of the qualifying programs listed above, you must provide a letter or official document as proof. Documentation must include your or your dependent's first or last name, the name of the qualifying program such as SNAP, the name of the government, tribal entity, program administrator, school district, university, or college that issued the document, an issue date within the last 12 months or a future expiration date. For the free and reduced price school lunch program or school breakfast program, including U.S. Department of Agriculture's Community Eligibility Provision Schools, documents must be from the current school year or the school year immediately preceding the application. For USDA CEP school, documents must show the student is enrolled in a CEP school for the relevant school year. The student must still be enrolled in the CEP school at the time of the application. Acceptable documentation shows the student's name, the relevant school year, the name and address of the school, and contact information for the school. For federal Pell Grants, documents must be from the student's school, college or university, community college or career school, or the Department of Education, and show the student has received a Pell Grant for the current award year. Document examples include benefit award letter, approval letter, statement of benefits, benefit verification letters, and school documentation. Applying for the ACP is a two-step process. First, you must go to acpbenefit.org to apply either online or you can print out a mail-in application from that site. The second step is to contact your preferred participating provider to select a plan and have your discount applied to your broadband bill. Some providers may have an alternate application that they will require you to complete. Eligible households must both apply for the program and contact the participating provider to select a service plan. The ACP program also has rules to protect ACP recipients by empowering consumers to choose the service plan that best meets their needs, by ensuring consumers have access to supported broadband services regardless of their credit status. ACP prohibits providers from excluding consumers with past due balances or prior debt from enrolling in the program. ACP also prevents consumers from being forced into more expensive or lower quality plans in order to receive the ACP benefit. ACP allows recipients to switch providers or broadband service offerings at any time. And last, the order establishes a dedicated FCC process for ACP complaints. Once you qualify and receive the benefits, you will have to recertify on an annual basis. The Affordable Connectivity Program is the largest ever affordability program in the US. Broadband connectivity is vital for work, school, healthcare, and more, but affordable broadband remains out of reach for too many. The broadband affordability gap keeps 47 million Americans offline. It's present in every state and disproportionately impacts low-income Black and Latinx Americans. So if you know of anyone whom you feel will benefit from this program, please share the information you've heard here today. Consumers can sign up for ACP at affordableconnectivity.gov, and for assistance or questions about the application, you can call the ACP Support Center at 877-384-2575. I've included that information in the chat at the beginning. The Affordable Connectivity Program is an FCC program, but it's administered by USAC. USAC is the Universal Service Administration Company. USAC processes all applications. This concludes my presentation on the Affordable Connectivity Program. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all today, and I'll take any questions if you have any. I can't hear you, Ann. You're muted.
Thank you, Anthony, for that great presentation. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat or just unmute yourself, and you can also ask. We have a fairly small group.
We've got one from Tom Bliss. He said he's asking, what is the income threshold for the ACP?
There's a if you go to affordableconnectivity.gov, there's a chart there that shows you the federal poverty guidelines by state. So you can just put your state in and see what the federal poverty guideline is for that state.
He also asked,
The Lifeline program is still available. You actually, you know, like some may try to tell you you can have either or, but you can have both. Usually if you qualify for Lifeline, you also qualify for ACP. So you can use Lifeline for telephone services, and you can use ACP for the broadband services. If you have a bundled package, the Lifeline portion will just go towards the phone portion of your bill, and ACP portion will go towards your broadband portion of your bill. Receive notifications when the national accepting applications. USAC handles that, and you have to contact USAC to see if there's a way for that. I'll put it in the link again. It's the affordableconnectivity.gov. I talked to a local banker today, and he was questioning the value of the ACP program. What would you suggest as a counterpoint to that argument? What do you, I'm not understanding that question. What do you mean he's questioning the value of the program? Tom?
Anthony, I was talking to a kind of a rural banker. He thought that money that's currently going into the ACP should go directly to like workforce, job training, that sort of thing. Personally, I don't see, I see that as workforce training and job training as going one direction, ACP going the same direction, but different audiences maybe. But yeah, he'd rather have that money go to job training.
Well, that's not what the program's for. The program is to provide discounted broadband services. They may have other programs for job training, but this is a separate program. Yeah, that question.
Yeah, I think there's a need for both the job training and for ACP for addressing affordability.
Now, when you say job training, what do you, as far as what?
Just in his situation, once again, very rural community. He wants to see classes for welding. He wants communities to invest in spaces where they can train high school graduates or high school students to be able to pick up a hammer, that sort of thing. But yeah, that's the kind of job training I'm thinking.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of like out of our, bailiwick, where, the Federal Communications Commission and Congress tasked us with putting this program together for broadband services. That's more within our wheelhouse and stuff. We don't handle job training and stuff like that. That would be up to either the local government or another organization, but that's not within the FCC's wheelhouse.
Yeah, and I see a good question here from Tom Rolfus, asking, since the ACP is a one-time appropriation from Congress, has the FCC received any indication that ACP will be reauthorized beyond 2024?
To my knowledge, I haven't heard anything. If they're discussing that behind closed doors, I'm not aware of it, but as of right now, to my knowledge, I haven't heard anything.
Ebony also has a question. What are some of the strategies your office has used to increase awareness and ultimately adoption for the ACP program?
We're doing a lot of webinars. We're doing a lot of train the trainers. We're trying to partner up with local organizations and have them go out and speak to consumers or put on events where they can sign consumers up. We try to do enrollment events. And then we also just had a grant program where we provided money for organizations to go out and promote the program, to try to promote the program and enroll people in it.
Yeah. Some of our speakers are also going to talk about efforts to and resources for increasing awareness and adoption of the ACP program.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, again, I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity to talk to you about the ACP program. If you have any additional questions, I'll put my email address in here.
Okay, thank you so much, Anthony. You
Okay.
did a great job. And thank you, everyone, for your great questions. And then we will move on to Jenny Miller, who's going to talk to us about education superhighways resources on increasing awareness and knowledge about the Affordable Connectivity Program.
Thanks, Anne. And thank you, Anthony, for that great presentation. I think it's always great when the FCC takes the time to get out and talk to us directly. So thank you for that. Hi, everybody. I'm Jenny Miller. Anne, thank you for convening us. We appreciate you and all the work that you do. I work in government affairs at Education Superhighway. I'm coming to you today from Boulder, Colorado. So I am your neighbor to the west. The weather is not good here either. Anne shares. So I'm in the same boat with you guys. And today I'm going to talk to you about Learn ACP. So this is an ACP enrollment course. So a little bit about our organization. Before I even start, also, we are completely free. Everything I'm showing you today is available for free to states, counties, community organizations, all of you interested in boosting awareness and adoption. This is all for you. So just use our resources, use anything you see here. So Education Superhighway is a national nonprofit with the mission to close the digital divide for the 18 million households nationally who have access to the internet but can't afford it. That's actually 2/3 of the digital divide. Anthony mentioned this as well. And obviously we're talking about ACP today, so this is exactly the population that we want to reach. And just a note about our name and history, we're called Education Superhighway because we used to focus on school connectivity. From 2013 to 2020, we did this work in Nebraska as well. In fact, I see my old friend Tom Rolfus on here. He helped us out with that work in Nebraska. As of 2020, the classroom connectivity gap is closed. Over 99% of schools have a high-speed broadband connection. Long story short, we accomplished our mission and in 2020 planned to sunset, but then the pandemic hit. So we changed course and expanded our mission. So that's where we are today. So let's talk about ACP. So Anthony just shared a lot about the program. The reality is a big challenge we face, as I think Ebony put in the chat, is to actually get people signed up for the program. And this is relevant because the resources I'm going to show you today try to get at these 3 barriers. So the first big barrier that we've seen in the field is just awareness. Only about 1 in 4 households seem to know about ACP. So boosting awareness is critical. The second one is trust, not just trust in government programs on the populations that we want to get enrolled, but also fear that their bill is going to suddenly go up. And then finally, there are enrollment challenges. So the enrollment process can be very confusing. And then even for those who do get all the way through the application without abandoning it, which many folks do abandon it, language barrier, for instance, we find that 45% of those folks are rejected on the spot due to lack of documentation, which can be hard to gather. So we're in this game to try to make all of this easier and more user-friendly for getting people signed up. So here's what we have to help. So Learn ACP, the focus of today's presentation, adds to our existing ecosystem of tools. And as Anne said, all these slides will be sent to you, so you'll be able to have clickable links to all of this. So firstly, the ACP enrollment dashboard, I hope you can see my mouse, I'm mousing over this, gives state and city level enrollment data, so partners can strategically deploy resources to a given city. This differs from what is available on the USAC website because we also have adoption rate by city, because we have a column for households eligible for each city. So if you're super in the weeds and familiar with this, this is how this differs from USAC's data. Promote ACP is our resource hub that has the customizable marketing materials that you need to do an effective awareness campaign. And this toolkit is a roadmap for launching such an awareness campaign. So some more resources. More public facing is the pre-enrollment tool, Get ACP, which helps individuals figure out if they qualify, what they need to apply, and then plans within their area, free with ACP plans. So for instance, a $30 plan based on the zip code you enter, for most people is going to give you $30 off. So that's going to be free with ACP. And then finally, we have Chat ACP, and that is multilingual on-demand support. And our newest addition is Learn ACP. So this is an on-demand, obviously free course. The on-demand nature allows folks to kind of go at their own pace, finish whenever it's convenient. And it uses different learning methods, checks understanding, and then tracks your progress. And then one point I'll make is that it's scalable. I don't know if judging from the chat, it sounds like some people have done some work in the field trying to get people signed up for ACP. It does take some time to sit down next to somebody and sign them up. So we designed this to try to be scalable, to allow advocates nationwide to be able to learn how to get people signed up and then go into their communities and help. So what's in the course? So it gives an overview of the program, including who's eligible. A lot of what Anthony just covered is there baked in the course. It demonstrates how to navigate the application, including screen-by-screen guidance to walk through there. It covers special populations, including tribal communities. I know Nebraska has 4 tribal areas, so this is relevant for all of you. It shows you how to go in and apply the AC benefit with a provider, and then also gives kind of pro tips to avoid common pitfalls. And just one note, the course can be updated relatively easily. Trainees who have already received their certification, and you do get a little certificate at the end, it's like professional development, they're added to our email list, and then they can be alerted to any significant changes in the course, because this is a program and maybe there's an update to the program, so we need to roll that out in the course. So, okay, so why I'm here, let's actually demo what's in the course. Okay, so I'm going to pop over to screen share right now. Anne, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, or somebody?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Monica. So okay, awesome. So this is the course. And prior to this, there's a very basic registration component, just like any username password. So this is lesson 2 of 19. You can see over here on the left-hand side, this left-hand navigation, all of these are lessons. In this login session, you can see I've completed like 5.5 of the lessons. There are 19 modules. And then this one, this is lesson 2 of 19 about the Affordable Connectivity Program. So I chose to show you this one because this should look familiar from what Anthony just went over. So it shows what's going to be in the course. What is the ACP? What is the benefit? Household is eligible if, and it walks through all this stuff. So the main center piece here is the course content. And I mentioned earlier, it contains interactive content and knowledge checks. So that kind of assures us that folks aren't just flying through. This one's kind of easy, but Anthony talked about what makes up a household. So we have, if you're going to sign somebody up, you need to understand like how many households live in your house, for instance. So, so let's do this one. So this is just an example. So Annie lives in an apartment building with her partner and 2 children. Annie also financially supports her retired parents who also live with them. How many households are in this situation? Let everybody noodle on that. I don't know. I learned a lot from this course. It helps me. Okay. So Annie's got 2 kids, and she also supports her retired parents. And so they live in the same house, but more importantly, they share expenses. So this is going to be 1 household. I can submit and see if I'm right. And it says correct, the count is 1 house, and it gives you the answer and it says why. Let's do another one just for funsies. So Eddie lives in a homeless shelter with 52 other adult single men, who most of whom are employed. How many households are represented in this situation? Okay, so this is going to be 53 because they don't share income despite living at the same address. So you get the idea. So there's lots of, so here's, they don't live on track, blah, blah, blah. So you get the idea. So we put in, and you can't advance to the next lesson without finishing all these, questions. So it makes sure you're not just like barreling through and saying, I completed this. I'm going to go to oh no, it's not letting me show this. Oh, good. Okay. I want to show you lesson 5 just because it has another version of the interactive content. So this is lesson 5, prove identity. So Anthony talked about ways that you can prove identity. So this is sort of the implementation of how to help somebody sit down and help somebody do that. So this is a screenshot of the website. Anthony mentioned USAC. That's the company that administers the program. So this is the actual USAC website. And this interactive content, it shows you little markers. These are not on the real website. It just shows you, in case you've never seen the USAC website before, which most people, there's no reason why they would. Most of our folks, like digital navigators, are going to be coming from community organizations. So there's no reason why they would know what the USAC website looks like. So these little markers you can expand, just kind of in a user-friendly way, walk you through the process. So let's keep going. So this is, again, the real website. I don't know, constraints on first and last name. This is a big, if you have multiple last names, they should enter them all. Identity verification, current ID, it can't be expired. This one's helpful, social security number. So this is kind of a tip. The fastest way to confirm identity is by using your social security number. That's not the only way. Remember, if you just arrived in the country, for instance, you're not going to have a social security number. So it just kind of walks you through. It's like, if you have one, this is the fastest way. Passport. Passports from a foreign country are okay. Here are other forms of government ID, government ID that are valid. Okay, so you get the idea. So let's, just because I think they're fun, let's go to a couple more questions. Okay. Pop quiz. Michael Motorist here. Is this wants to apply for ACP? Is this a valid form of identification? This one takes a little studying, so I'll give you a second.
No, because his license has expired.
Correct. His license has expired. This is not a valid form of ID. So this is like a common, something to look out for. If you're out there in the field and somebody gives you a driver's permit, okay. Is this a valid form of identification? So this one, I mean, you guys, I hope everybody here takes this course and becomes it. But so this one is, and this kind of teaches, it's like, yes. So this nice lady from the Netherlands, it looks like, official foreign passports are valid forms of ID as long as they are not expired. Here's a student one. Here is a question about a tribal ID card. So I'll let you guys go do that on your own time. And I'm going to switch back over to the presentation. But the last thing I'll say is that there, like I mentioned, there's a certification that you can print out and show that you're a certified enrollment specialist for the ACP and that you've done this standardized course material, so you can get out there and help other community members. So a quick note, I'll wrap up soon. Thanks for listening. A quick note on what data is collected. So initially, email and name are used to confirm via email that the user's sign up has been successful and eventually that they've completed the course. And then also we see how users progress through the lessons. And then that helps us see if there are any spots technically where folks are getting stuck, so we can update accordingly and make this as user-friendly as possible. And then there's a feedback survey, which we love because that helps us learn, is this actually helpful for our partners? To wrap up, just some examples of how different organizations are using Learn ACP. We are thrilled to see many organizations are beginning to require this course for their staff. I'm personally proudest of the Housing Authority of Baltimore City is now requiring this for all their staffers, which is just amazing. So we are so thrilled about that. Connect Waukegan in Illinois is using this for all their community outreach specialists, University of Maryland Extension. So the word is getting out. So this is, again, it's, Anthony mentioned like a train the trainer model. So if you're gonna be out there, with our target populations, we want you to, take this and feel armed and equipped to get them signed up effectively. How it's being received since launching on February 8th, pretty well. 600 have signed up, almost 500 have completed the course. 70% of states now have a Learn ACP trained specialist. This is just some media coverage we've gotten. And then the thing I'm happiest about is just 100% of post-completion survey respondents would recommend the course to somebody looking for ACP enrollment help. So I think I saw in the chat somebody's interested about enrollment and adoption help. Please come here. I think that is enough out of me. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. Oh wait, actually my contact info. Hang on one second, guys. I forgot the contact slide. Here we go. Here's my contact info. So just jenny.miller@educationsuperhighway.org. We're very online. I'm very easy to get a hold of. I think jenny@educationsuperhighway.org also works. So we have even more resources than this that I didn't show you today. We have a pre-enrollment tool called getacp.org. We have a whole resource hub with marketing materials in 14 languages. So depending on any community you're working on, we should have a language for that. We have a sample social media toolkit. So we have sample posts in English and in Spanish, because I know you all have day jobs. And so maybe you don't have time to write, your Twitter posts or whatever to get the word out. So please contact me if for any and all ACP help. We are really all in on this. And we have a ton of resources to share. And of course, we're completely free. So I think that's enough out of me. Anne, should I take questions, or Anne, how would you like to proceed?
Yeah, let's do questions. I see that there's a question in the chat from Tom Bliss asking, I may have missed this, but do you have steps included for those with existing broadband accounts?
Yes. You mean, so people who already have a broadband subscription and then want the discount, I'm assuming? Yes, absolutely. And in fact, Anthony would maybe have the data. I don't have the data on how many of that, what proportion of the universe of ACP signups is that situation. But it's a very, very high number. So yeah, no problem. That's a very easy use case. And yes, we do. And I'm going to put my email in the chat. Thanks everybody for your nice comments. Superhighway.org. that's me. I'm here. I love getting people signed up for ACP. And again, it's free. So yeah, and also I will say, I think I'm excited to hear from the folks after me on the presentation who are they just received an outreach grant, an FCC outreach grant for affordable connectivity programs. So that's like prime time example of who I think could use these resources. So grab them and use them, and yeah, just let me know if there are any questions.
Okay, last chance for questions for Jenny. Yeah, thank you for that great presentation, Jenny, and all those resources. And I will probably be adding some additional resources to the page that I have on ACP resources. Next, we're going to turn to Aaron Beanel from the South Central Economic Development District, who has been working and planning some outreach events, ACP outreach events.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Erin Bennell. I'm an AmeriCorps service member, part of the American Connection Corps, serving with South Central Economic Development District. So our region covers 13 different counties. And right now, just so you have a little information about our ACP situation, for all 13 counties, we have about 6.22% of eligible households enrolled. So once we started doing more of our community work, we really wanted to raise awareness of the program and just let people know that it's available. The Benton Institute just released a report last week on March 17th, and it said pretty much 34% of eligible households had never even heard of the program, and 19% of the households had heard of it, but knew nothing about the program at all. And that's a national wide statistic. So it really is just important to keep that in mind. So what we decided to do was tack on ACP enrollment days with all of our workshops. So we're working with a group of stakeholders in our region to work on the digital equity plan for our region. And we decided to move around the Tri-Cities, so Kearney, Grand Island, and Hastings. We then would host our events, allow the community to be involved in those conversations, and then go into the libraries and have the library staff assist us through ACP enrollment events. I love Education Superhighway. All of us took that little test to make sure that we were able to assist people in the enrollment process, since we haven't needed to apply for it. So it was really nice to see what that looks like, and then not be surprised when we're going through that application with the community members. Our goal wasn't to force people to enroll in the program, but really just to raise the awareness and let people know that there are options available to them. So we really focused on creating partnerships with different community organizations, such as nonprofits and the schools. We have 3 different ESU administrators on our committee, and they've been very helpful in spreading the word to their communities and to their students and families that are part of the school. Hastings and Grand Island especially have been very helpful with spreading the word about the enrollment days to their students and to those families. We've also been working with United Way, Salvation Army, the Goodwill. There's a lot of different organizations that help with job applications. So we've been working with them to spread awareness to their clients. And then the big one we've been doing is radio campaigns and making sure we're reaching the rural community and the surrounding areas of the Tri-Cities so that they know when the enrollment days are happening and a little bit more about the program itself. So we've only had one. Our first one was on March 8th at the Hastings Public Library. And we weren't really expecting a huge crowd, but thankfully it wasn't as big as we were really hoping. The national verifier went down. And so once the national verifier goes down, we had to change direction and really make sure we were giving them the information of where to go at home or on their own time when they got off of work. So our next event is on April 19th at the Grand Island Public Library from 3:30 to 5 p.m. We've been getting a lot of help from the Grand Island Public Library, Grand Island Public Schools, the City of Grand Island, and then ALLO, one of the ISPs that is located in Grand Island. They received a national award from the White House, thanking them for their service to the Affordable Connectivity Program. So they've been really helpful in spreading the word to their customers and to the people that they're about to reach as they work on their expansion. That's it. Thanks, everyone.
Are there any questions for Aaron?
Did you guys do any follow-up with attendees to see how successful they were navigating it on their own once the verifier was no longer down?
Yes, so we did get contact information for the people that showed up and then called them and emailed them later to make sure they got enrolled. ALA was also able to give them contact information since they were their providers already. And so then they were able to just like walk them through everything, make sure it was automatically enrolled. I think the hardest part about ACP enrollment is getting it added on to your internet account. And so having ISPs there to make mental notes and physical notes for their customer service that these people are going to be calling, have them ready to go was really helpful.
Any other questions for Aaron? Yeah, great presentation and great information, Aaron. So I think we're ready for an update from the Southeast Nebraska Economic Development District. And I see several people from SEND are on the webinar. So whoever is going to give the update, I'm just going to hand it off to you.
So I'll start by just kind of explaining what the project is, what we're doing. So SEND was awarded $500,000 from the FCC for our ACP outreach coordinator project that we proposed. And so what the project is we're going to create a coordinator position, and they will help all the development districts within the state coordinate ACP outreach across their regions. So the idea is that this coordinator and the development districts are going to be working with local communities, especially the regional broadband committees that we've already set up for digital equity planning. We're going to be working with those organizations within the committees to promote ACP within their pretty much outreach activities that they're doing already. So we'll be adding on ACP related events or a focus to these events so that we can get the word out and just promote awareness. And then also we'll be doing newsletters. The development districts will be sending out newsletters for ACP, and we will be coordinating materials that we can send out to recipients within these regions so that they will get knowledge about the ACP and raise awareness for it. And we're still somewhat getting the details really worked out, but definitely looking at the education superhighway, the materials like that to really help inform us, the coordinator, and development districts, and the population in general about the ACP so that we can really help, again, raise awareness and get people more signed up. So that is the basics of the program. And Oliver, have anything to add?
Yeah, to kind of tack onto that, drilling down into the data, Nebraska has a bit of a problem. We're below the national average in enrollment rates. We're below 1/4 of eligible households enrolled in the ACP. So that's over $6 million a month that's being left on the table that could be going back into the pockets of low-income Nebraskans and being reinvested in communities. So the stakes are certainly high to get this right. We've been working to identify target areas within each development district. So identifying the zip codes with disproportionately lower enrollment rates and significantly higher eligibility rates. So picking out a couple per development district. I know offhand in the Southeast area, Syracuse is one of those zip codes that has a lot of eligible households and is really not highly enrolled. It's below 10% enrollment. So working to combine the data with our digital equity planning regional broadband committees and leveraging those trusted messengers along with the federal grant to hopefully move that 25% up towards a third or half or potentially above that.
Are there any questions for Michael and Oliver or other members of the Sun team?
Real quick though, we're pitching it over to Tom to discuss some of the financial sides of things.
Yeah. So, and one of the challenges that we've recognized is, and just putting this in context, this is a statewide effort. It's a partnership with all 8 development districts in the state. So anyone that is involved with INROC should be aware of this. The idea is to help fund a person in each office, or at least a part-time person in each office, to be able to do these type of outreach efforts, you know, to be able to bird dog opportunities and be able to kind of spend time to actually provide these services. One of the challenges that we recognized was we were very grateful that the FCC awarded SEND these dollars. The challenge is our budget was for $638,000, with SEND providing about $40,000 of that. And the FCC awarded $500,000 or $500,000, which leaves a $100,000 gap. And that's what we're working on right now, to figure out a way to close that gap, whether it's reducing the scope of the work, trying to find some way to fine tune budgets with all the other development districts as well, to make $538,000 work instead of $638,000. So that is going to our board of directors tomorrow night, and then they will help determine kind of the fate of this program, at least from SEND's perspective. Any questions?
Yeah, I don't see any questions. I would really like to thank Michael, Oliver, Tom for giving that great update. Also for SEND for your leadership in this and applying for the grant and now starting to administer the grant. So I think that's great. Congratulations on your grant. Thank you for all your work on this. There's one last opportunity for any questions or comments. I'm not seeing any. Did you see anything, Monica?
No, I did not.
Okay, well then I think we're going to end a few minutes early. So thank you everyone for attending. Thank you to all of our great speakers. So have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Anne.
Thanks, everyone.